One of the biggest retirements in sports this year isn't a player or even a coach. It's a Formula 1 engine, as the Mercedes V6 Hybrid takes its final laps after 12 seasons. What many fans don't realize is that Mercedes actually runs two F1 operations. There's the Mercedes-AMG Petronas F1 team that builds the cars to race, and a separate group called Mercedes-AMG High Performance Powertrains, the designers and engineers who build the engines, and collectively it forms the Mercedes F1 Works team. Another interesting piece is that in F1, teams can either build their own engine or buy one from another manufacturer, and that's why during this era the same Mercedes power unit that carried Rosberg, Hamilton, Bottas, Russell, and now Antonelli also powered teams like McLaren, Aston Martin, Williams, Force India, and Racing Point. When we move down here, the performance of this engine on the track speaks for itself. The red bars here show how many races the engine ran each year of this era. Then the black bars with the dots show how many of those it won, and the line across is the number of poles. What you'll notice if you scan across here is that there's some years of pure dominance, and if you add it up over 12 seasons, 56% of all race wins were powered by this engine. Now, you might be asking why this is the case, and I'll try to explain in basic terms. The concept of a combustion engine is fairly simple at its core, where you burn fuel, create heat, and turn that heat into as much forward motion as possible. The problem is that most of that heat is actually wasted as it flies out in the exhaust or radiates away. So the goal of the engineers and the designers is to turn as much of that heat as possible into forward motion, and this power unit did that better than any gasoline engine ever built. It's explained best in this chart, where the x-axis is engine speed, so how fast the motor is spinning, and the y-axis is the percentage of fuel that turns into motion at that RPM. The first gray line here is a normal highway car. Its efficiency peaks at around 5,000 RPMs, where it turns roughly 30% of its fuel into motion. The next red line we see is an old V8 F1 engine, which peaks at just under 35% efficiency at roughly 12 to 15,000 RPMs. And then there's the Mercedes V6 Hybrid. The blue line here reaches more than 50% efficiency, an astronomical number, and that jump up represents the largest increase in engine innovation in over 70 years. The secret behind that efficiency is how many different places this engine found free energy, harnessing heat from the exhaust and brakes, then reusing it to spool the turbo or recharge the battery, making more power available to the driver with less inputs. Now, after 12 seasons of dominance, the most efficient engine ever built in motorsports gets its final laps, a quiet retirement for a power unit that changed Formula 1 forever.